Hello, my name's Dr. Mark Carew. I'm the inventor of the What the Pharma card game. So it's a simple, fun game I designed for students to help them learn about clinical pharmacology, which is a difficult topic generally. There's lots of complicated interactions between drugs and indications and side effects and that type of thing. So the key to the game is to put the information over in simple terms, in the smallest bits, which they can make links between. In my experience, I was teaching pharmacy students, and they have to know a lot about drugs, and I found this was a very useful technique to use with them, just breaking down the information into bite-sized pieces. Worked very well with them. And so gamification is good for motivation. It's good to interest students in a subject in another way that they can enjoy, and once they start enjoying it, they open up and are happy to learn a bit more. So it really is a sort of gateway to getting students interested in a subject, because they realise that they can do some of it and they take it one step at a time and grow from there. It is real life, so it's based on the most frequently prescribed drugs that doctors, nurses, pharmacists and others will see. And it's all about playing with the information, time on task, considering the information multiple times in multiple ways until the links form and you expand your mental map, as it were, and just have a much better understanding of the whole thing. The way to play is everybody gets a hand of cards and you try and make the sets and until you run out of cards in your hands. A nice introduction to that is to play as a pair. So you play with two sets of cards with two people, and then there's good collaboration between the two of you, and you will be able to find a set and play the game. You can then move on to playing on your own in a group game, which is a nice way of playing it. And then if you want to practice as well, there's two ways of doing that. You can play Snap, and you can play Solitaire, where you match cards and just practice learning what drugs go with what indications and mechanisms of action and that type of thing. Professionals like it. I mean, everyone remembers clinical pharmacology training as difficult, quite stressful, because obviously it's an important subject. But yes, we've seen professionals play it and they enjoy it, and it's a good memory refresher for them. So yes, no limit. It's not just for students, it's for students and professionals. We've designed 8 decks of cards, which cover nearly 100 of the most frequently prescribed drugs to date. And yes, you can add two decks together, which would be very interesting, and it reflects what people will see in practice. As far as I can tell, people see all sorts of patients with all sorts of indications and existing drugs being taken. So yes, absolutely, you can meld the decks together. I see it being played in medical schools, nursing schools, pharmacy departments, anywhere where people need to get a hold of the pharmacology involved in a clinical context in prescribing, so independent prescribers would be interested in it. Yes, anywhere where you're expected to know why a drug is given for an indication, how it works, and the possible side effects, other things you need to know with regard to patient safety and treatment. Starting out, it would make a great workshop activity, a great way to reinforce pharmacology. You would need some background information, first of all, on the drugs, but you could quickly move on to practicing whether you understood any of that. So practice your knowledge, make it viewable to people, and explain your knowledge to them, which is one of the advantages. And then you can play it just informally for fun amongst friends who are interested. So if you have an exam coming up in pharmacology, then you can just break out the cards, have a fun revision session. I would like it to be known as a go-to resource which students would choose to help them learn about the subject. It might not be their only resource, but I hope they would find it useful to be a fun way of approaching the subject and checking their knowledge amongst others. And I think to have it spread amongst all professions who need to understand this particular topic would be an aim. I think it's got a lot of legs and a lot of possibilities with it. It's a fun way of testing your pharmacological knowledge in a clinical sense. You simply make the links between cards and explain the logical link between them.